The crystal chandelier above the ballroom glittered like 1,000 mocking eyes, casting fractured light across the sea of tailored suits and shimmering gowns. I sat at the edge of the head table, my fingers tracing the embossed edge of the linen napkin, the faint scent of lilies from the centerpieces cloying in the air. My son, Daniel, stood at the podium, his voice booming through the microphone as he toasted the company's latest merger. "To new beginnings," he said, raising his glass, his smile polished and professional. Beside him, his wife, Sophia, beamed, her diamond earrings catching the light like tiny stars. And then, as the applause died down, she leaned toward me, her breath warm with champagne, and whispered, "Honestly, Evelyn, you look so out of place here. Like a nobody crashing a party she doesn't belong to." The words landed like a slap, sharp and unexpected, my heart seizing in my chest as humiliation flooded through me, hot and unrelenting. I froze, the clink of silverware and murmur of conversations fading into a distant hum. Sophia straightened, her red lips curving into a smug smile, as if she'd just shared a harmless joke. But her eyes, cold, calculating, betrayed the intent. Anger ignited first, a spark in my gut that threatened to blaze out of control. How dare she? After everything I'd done, the quiet sacrifices, the empire I'd built from nothing. But I swallowed it, forcing a tight smile, my knuckles white around the stem of my wine glass. The room spun slightly, the opulent ballroom of the downtown Chicago hotel now feeling like a gilded cage. Velvet drapes hung heavy against floor-to-ceiling windows, the city skyline twinkling beyond like indifferent witnesses. Daniel slid back into his seat beside her, oblivious, his hand brushing her arm affectionately. "Great speech, hon," Sophia cooed, loud enough for the table to hear. He grinned, pride swelling in his chest. My son, the golden boy I'd raised alone after his father left us penniless. I'd poured everything into him, late nights at the office, building Thorne Enterprises from a tiny consulting firm into a multimillion-dollar tech conglomerate. He'd joined 5 years ago, climbing to VP of operations, but he didn't know the half of it. I'd kept my role as the reclusive CEO hidden, using a figurehead to front the company. Anonymity was my shield, a way to watch him grow without the shadow of nepotism. Now that secrecy felt like a noose. Humiliation gnawed deeper as the evening wore on. Sophia's comment echoed in my mind, layering with resentment. I'd welcomed her into the family 2 years ago, despite the red flags, her obsession with status, the way she'd pushed Daniel to demand a bigger house, a flashier car. "We're building our future," she'd say, her voice saccharine. But tonight, at this company dinner celebrating the merger I'd orchestrated from behind the scenes, she saw me as nothing. A retired widow living modestly in the suburbs, scraping by on a pension. The irony burned. Heartbreak twisted in, sharp as a knife. Betrayal from family cut deepest. I excused myself to the restroom, the click of my sensible heels muffled on the plush carpet. In the marble-tiled sanctuary, I gripped the sink, staring at my reflection. Silver-streaked hair pulled into a neat bun, simple black dress that screamed understated rather than elegant. Denial whispered, maybe I misheard, champagne-fueled slip. But no, her tone was deliberate, a power play. Fantasies of justice flickered, storming back, revealing everything. "I sign your paychecks," I'd say, watching her face crumple. Doubt followed, would Daniel believe me? Or side with her, the woman who'd wrapped him around her finger? Back at the table, dialogue flowed, natural yet laced with tension. "So, Evelyn," Sophia said, spearing a forkful of salmon, "what do you do these days? Still knitting those scarves?" Her laugh tinkled, drawing chuckles from nearby executives, people who reported to me indirectly. Suppressed rage simmered. I wanted to lash out, but resolve cooled it. "Not here. Not yet." "Keeps me busy," I replied evenly, my voice steady despite the storm inside. Daniel shot me a fond look. Mom's always been the creative type. Innocent words, but they stung. He saw me as harmless, not the architect of his success. Obsession took root then, a dark seed. I'd uncover her motives, plan meticulously. Moral conflict nod. Revenge on my daughter-in-law? What kind of mother did that make me? The night ended with handshakes and air kisses, the valet retrieving cars under the hotel's glowing marquee. In the back of my Uber, modest as always, the city blurred past, rain streaking the windows like tears. Home was a quiet bungalow, bookshelves lined with ledgers disguised as novels, a hidden office where I ran an empire. I poured tea, the steam curling like doubts. Inner thoughts churned. She'd humiliated me publicly, but why? Jealousy. Or something deeper. Perhaps she'd discovered my secret and tested me. Morning brought clarity, or so I thought. Daniel called, voice bright. Last night was amazing, Mom. Sophia said you seemed a bit off. Everything okay? Fine, I lied, guilt flickering. Should I tell him? No, he'd defend her. Instead, I probed subtly. Sophia seemed opinionated. He chuckled. She's just ambitious. Pushes me to aim higher. Hidden motives surfaced in his tone. Dependence on her drive, perhaps. Layers emerged. Sophia wasn't cartoonish evil. She was insecure, climbing social ladders on Daniel's back, seeing me as an obstacle. Days blurred into quiet calculation. At my desk, screens glowed with company emails. Profits soaring thanks to my strategies. I dug into Sophia's background, using discreet channels. She'd come from nothing like me, but resented it, fabricating a privileged past. Resentment grew. She mirrored my younger self, but twisted, stepping on others. Fear crept in. What if revenge alienated Daniel forever? Subtle hints of vengeance emerged. I approved a bonus for Daniel, but flagged Sophia's freelance contract with the company. Marketing gigs she'd snagged through him. Irregularities. Create them if needed. Emotional conflict raged. Justified? Or petty? Planning consumed me. Dinners with them became reconnaissance, her snide comments fuel. One evening, over roast at their sleek condo, funded indirectly by me, tension heightened. Evelyn, you should update your wardrobe, Sophia said, sipping wine. These events are about image. Daniel nodded absently. Anger flared, but I smiled. Perhaps. Inside, obsession peaked. I'd show them. But doubt, at what cost? Weeks passed, suspense building like a storm. I attended board meetings incognito, via video with voice modulation. Daniel presented brilliantly. Unaware I approved every slide. Heartbreak deepened. He thrived because of me, yet saw me as irrelevant. Then the trigger. An email from Sophia to Daniel, forwarded accidentally to a company alias I monitored. Your mom's a drag. Once we take over, we'll cut the dead weight. Betrayal crystallized. They plotted against me. No, against the absentee owner. Cold resolve settled. Time to act. The annual shareholders' gala loomed. A black tie affair at the Art Institute. Marble halls echoing with string quartets and clinking crystal. I'd orchestrated it as my stage. Invitations sent weeks ago. Daniel and Sophia arrived arm in arm. Him in a tux I'd subtly paid for. Her in a designer gown that screamed ambition. I lingered in shadows, simple dress swapped for elegant silk, hair styled. Still understated but poised. They mingled, Sophia's laugh cutting through the crowd. Daniel's the future of Thorne, she boasted to executives. Suppressed rage boiled as I watched. Her manipulation evident now, pushing him toward a coup she didn't know was impossible. Inner conflict peaked in the ladies' room. Mirror reflecting a woman torn. Guilt. Destroying her could shatter Daniel. Fear. Exposure might backfire. But resentment won. Betrayal demanded justice. The program began, the MC announcing the CEO's rare appearance. Whispers rippled. Daniel frowned, confused. I stepped to the podium, spotlights warm on my skin, the audience hushing. Good evening, I said, voice amplified. I'm Evelyn Thorne, founder and CEO of Thorne Enterprises. Gasps echoed, glasses clattering. Daniel's face paled, eyes wide with shock. Sophia choked on her champagne, color draining. The room's atmosphere thickened, velvet curtains swaying slightly in the AC, the scent of orchids overpowering. I've watched from afar, I continued, gaze locking on them. Building this company for my family. Daniel stammered from his seat. Mom. Heartbreak in his voice, layers revealed. He'd loved me but undervalued me. Sophia recovered first, whispering furiously to him. Dialogue ensued post-speech in a side alcove. You knew. Daniel accused, voice cracking. No, I said calmly. I hid it to let you earn your way. Truth, but laced with hurt. Sophia interjected, voice shrill. This is absurd. You're nobody. Echo of her insult, now desperate. Anger surged, but I held back. I sign your paychecks. Both of you. Revelation hung heavy, the alcove's dim light casting long shadows. Daniel's motivation surfaced. Soph, did you push me to challenge the board because? She faltered. For us. We deserve more. Moral complexity. Her drive stemmed from poverty's scars like mine, but corrupted by greed. Suspense crested as I revealed more. Your contract, Sophia. Terminated for conflicts of interest. I'd planted evidence of embezzlement. Minor but damning. Gray decision. Justified. Or vengeful. Daniel's face twisted. Betrayal from both sides. Mom, how could you? Obsessions cost hit. Loneliness. But resolve held. The twist. As security escorted Sophia out, Daniel stayed, tears in eyes. I didn't know about any of it. Poetic justice, she lost everything, he gained truth. But unexpected consequence. He resigned, choosing family over empire. I need time, he said. Months later, reconciliation tentative. The empire mine alone. Revenge's psychological impact. Empowerment, tinged with guilt. Was it worth it? The empty house whispered yes and no.